Now Rich got his mojo back.
All right, Rich.
Go from underneath. Okay, here we are. Our fourth podcast. Podcast. I say podcast. Our fourth podcast.
Great
And
start.
we have a little bit of different format today. We're still doing the beer of the week. That was a fan favorite, except for one person, but I'm not going to mention his name. And but then we're going to answer a lot of questions. We had a couple of people that sent some questions to us, and there was one in particular that I thought was very, very good. So we'll probably spend most of our time talking about that. And we also have the tool of the week. And do we have a gripe of the week? Yes, we do have a gripe of the week. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get the ball rolling. So let's introduce the beer of the week.
Yeah. So, beer of the week. That's me this week. Got a little something here. I don't know what you guys are going to think about this. So this is Raspberry Blush by Mckellar. And if you're into beer, you may know who Mckellar is. Kind of like a vagabond brewer. I think he's from one of those Scandinavian countries. I don't know which one, but
Poland?
Anyway, he came to the U.S. and he would brew at different breweries. So this was, I guess he has his own brewery now in San Diego, Mckellar Brewing. Shows how out of the loop I am. But this is a Berliner Weiss with raspberries and coffee.
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to taste it.
Yeah. Berliner Weiss is usually like a little bit sour, I think. So it might be a little sour.
Oh, you could definitely taste the raspberry.
I could taste the coffee.
I tried to get something for Rich that wasn't so bitter, so that you could try a weird beer that wasn't bitter.
Raspberries and coffee.
It almost
Yeah.
tastes like a
That's,
soda.
That's a weird
Yeah,
taste.
yeah, soda beers.
I mean, that's troublingly easy to drink.
Yeah, only 4%. Oh wow, I taste the coffee now.
Yeah.
4% alcohol. It's good, but we'll talk about that a little later. I do want to say it was nice to get a bunch of questions because I think that's sort of the direction that we'd really like to go, is to get a lot of questions every week and be able to answer the questions. That way, we can sort of get a conversation going back and forth. But I want to hand it over to Rob for Tool of the Week.
All right, we're going to start early. So, tool of the week is my bar 1.5-inch framing chisel. A little bit about why I got this tool. I grew up in Brooklyn and had these wild dreams of moving to New England and being like a backwoodsman. So in early 2000, I signed up for this timber framing class up in Bowdoin, Maine. And the class was essentially about, I think it was about 10 days, where they taught you to cut timber frame joints, and essentially that small crew of students built someone's house. And at the end of the class, you raise this physical frame.
Now this guy, because you've told us this story before, this guy had a real racket going.
Oh, yeah.
Because what he does is he has all these students come in, they do the work, and he's collecting the check.
Yes, he's actually charging a client for a timber frame for their house. And a lot of these clients are kind of like do-it-yourselfers trying to do it on a budget. So they'll get this frame built, and then they'll do the infill, whether it's going to be straw bale or something like that, on their own. Because, all the craft and the work is in putting up that frame and actually raising it. So I'd never heard of, most of these tools that were needed. This class tuition came with a little tiny pamphlet, about 3 or 4 pages. It said, these are the tools you should probably show up with. Had a plane, I have this big, nice Sterrett 18-inch square that I got for it. And in it also said, you're going to need 1.5 inch and a 2-inch framing chisel. And he listed bar. And there's a cool little stamp there. It says BAR bar. There's a little sign of a bear. And so I contacted Bar. I always thought that was his last name, but it's his first name, Bar Corton. He's in Idaho, and this chisel's been one of my favorite tools ever since. I mean, I used it for that timber frame before I had chisel planes and things like that, or you could use it just about anywhere you would. You can fit it. It's 1.5 inches. It's always really sharp, and it feels so great in your hands, and that's kind of why I like it.
It's a nice chisel. Yeah.
The handle's a little bit shorter because, I've smashed it quite a bit, because you break this thing out and you're smacking it pretty hard. So let me I wrote some things down about Bar because I think it's worth noting. He's been making these tools and ironworking since 1977. And back in 85, he actually had a chance to apprentice with a genuine Japanese swordsmith. And if anybody knows, tool making, metalworking, they know that the Japanese do it very, very well. And this is all hand forged. That means he heats it up and smacks it with a hammer. Mm-hmm. It's not drop forged. Benefit of hand forging is it creates some more carbon, and the carbon is what helps cut. So it holds a really good edge. And the other thing I could say about his tools, he sharpens them and sends them out. It's ready to rock and roll when you get that chisel. And he'll service them too. Not for free, but you can send them back and he'll make that thing razor sharp again. And came with this little heavy duty sheath.
Nice. So
there you go.
Yeah, I remember I went on the Bar website, obviously, because I've seen yours, and I've seen another couple guys online use them. When I was looking for new chisels, I took a look. The price is pretty fair, too.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it was like $150 for this chisel, and it's a lifetime tool.
Yeah, that's got the steel of 4 or 5 big chisels, 3/4 inch chisels. Yeah, I like the shape of this.
It's
blade. It's got this little swoop here down to the bevel.
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does sort of seem like a hybridization between a Western chisel and a Japanese chisel.
Yeah, it's just a fun tool to own. Even the handle does kind of look Asian, doesn't it? It has that Japanese.
The Japanese use a lot of there's a name for it, a specific type of white oak, which that looks like white oak or beech.
Yeah, definitely. So if you have any questions about it, I encourage you to look up Bar, Barr. I think he calls it Bar Specialty Tools. Check him out.
Does he make hammers and stuff too?
I think he's broadened out, to quite a few things. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks a lot. What we got next?
Oh, well, we come to the petty gripe of the week, and this time it's not the man to my left, or it's the man to my further left.
I'm a pretty good griper myself. Do a good bit of griping.
Take it away, Jeff.
So, I'm sure you've all seen the advertisement on Instagram or Facebook, the Veritas Mini Square.
How many is it,
This
Jeff?
is an 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. We'll call it Speed Square. I can't for the life of me think of a situation where I would want to use this particular square. Just seems ridiculous to me.
What if you were building a dollhouse and you were making a staircase?
Yeah, I have a not a combination square, but a what the hell do you call that kind of square?
What, the adjustable?
Yeah,
T-square?
No,
Bevel square?
Not a combo square, but doesn't have a 45.
Oh, you mean that little thing you carry in your pocket?
Yeah, we all have one.
Yeah, it's that thingamajig.
What the hell is that called?
I don't know.
I'm at a loss for
It's
words.
on the tip of my tongue. Anyway. Yeah, so Lee Valley Veritas has a commercial where this guy, Vic Teslin, says, "This is the most versatile tool in my shop."
A 1.5 inch square?
Yeah, I'd like to see the versatility because I have a regular, the Veritas Precision Square is a great square. It's like a mini framing square. I think we showed it on the second or third episode.
Yeah, we use them.
Yeah, that's a great square. This, I don't see the point. Speed Square, we have one over here. It's plastic. It's used for marking crap, rough lumber. You want to drop it on the ground or
Write on it with a crayon or a magic
you can
marker.
throw it across the shop if you want. 1.5 aluminum square, I don't see the point.
Yeah. That 6-inch plastic is about the perfect thing. Yeah.
If a Speed Square for me is for framing. It's not a woodworking tool. It's not even a finished carpentry tool. When I was a finished carpenter, we used combo squares or tri squares. I don't understand the marking of 45. I couldn't tell you the last time I had to mark a 45 and cut to it or something. I don't know.
What do you think of the gradations for the other degree angles?
Yeah, and even on the Lee Valley website, it says, these graduations for angles aren't very accurate. And then why are they on there?
Because it's too tiny.
No, it's this big.
Yeah.
They got these little tiny... It's like...
So my buddy Kevin was kind of ribbing me yesterday, telling me, joking around saying I should buy one because we've talked about it before. But no way I'm buying it. Stupid invention. I don't like it.
If you have one, write us and tell us what you're using it for.
Yeah, tell me.
And send pictures.
Yeah. I mean, at $10, okay, maybe for the novelty, you sit it on the wall, but I'm not buying it.
What about you, Rich?
No, I have no need for it.
Listen.
I don't use a square, so.
I'm the king of small and miniature tools around
That's
here.
That's right. I thought you would like those. You like those small.
I can't see a use for it. It's a little bit like a toy almost.
Yeah. For marking small pieces, I think is kind of what they're marketing it as, but can mark small pieces with an 18-inch.
And I love that little 4-inch adjustable. Square.
Yeah, well, I won't show it because maybe we'll talk about it another time. But Veritas has a really nice sliding marking tool that we.
Oh yeah, that one.
We all have.
We all have one now. Yeah.
I can't believe I still can't think of what that type of square is called.
Well, we got 45 millimeters.
What is this called? Why can't I think of the name?
That's not a sliding T-bevel?
No, it's not a T-bevel. It's
T-square, I mean?
No.
It's a T.
It has a name.
To a T.
That's not combo square, but
Gee, don't we look intelligent, don't we?
This is going to kill me.
Not a T-square?
No, it's not a T-square. T-square is like for, T-square goes like this, like a T.
Isn't that a T?
Yeah, that looks like a T.
I don't know.
Let's see how fast the internet connection is here.
When I find out what the name is, it's going to kill me because...
Yeah. See, Rich and I, we're old enough to where we just don't care.
Exactly. I look at it like this.
We forget stuff all the time.
Square? It's square.
Double square.
A double square.
I knew that.
Yeah, see,
double square.
We've forgotten more than that.
It's true.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a double square, these PEC, which stands for Products
Precision?
Engineering Corporation, I think. You get these blemished on eBay for like $20. This is probably about an $80
That's
square.
Why I got mine.
They're that's what this is. It just has a little scratch on it. So you get about an $80 square for $25, made in the USA. I'd say just one small step below Starrett. So
yeah, because we have some Starrett stuff in here.
Yeah,
to compare it to.
Starrett tape measures, which are actually not made by Starrett. Really, they're made in China in a factory. But
we have Starrett
There's that
squares.
C word again.
The C word, yes.
Yeah, China.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Just some of the tools aren't that great.
Well, you did that survey. You looked at that. What is the most trusted brands coming out of countries, and who's the most trusted country to do something? And the top of the list was Germany.
Yeah, it was like the most revered made in the fill in the blank countries were Germany, Switzerland. USA was about 15, I think.
Yeah.
Italy was up towards the top.
Yeah, I think it was only the top 20, but
And China wasn't on there.
No.
Japan was pretty high on the list.
Yes,
too.
Japan was.
Yeah. It's all about quality control. Most factories operate the same because it's a very, there's a recipe on how to make something. And as long as there's someone saying this is how you make it and making sure that it's made that way, well, then it could be made really anywhere.
Right. It's not the Chinese people. It's It's the company that's setting up shop in China, and they're setting the standards. Whether that company is Chinese, American, Swiss, it doesn't matter. They tell the folks at the Chinese factory, here are the parameters we want you to build to.
Make it like this.
Right. Here's the price point. So I'm glad we got that straight.
Yeah. It's all crap. I'm a little angry today, so if I start ranting and
some
raving,
ice cream sandwiches, but
if I start ranting and raving, I just wanted to let you know that my meds came in late yesterday, so I didn't really get to take a chance to take them. So I'm a little.
We'll touch on that later.
I'm a little on edge.
Jeff, why don't you read the first viewer question of the week?
Yeah, sure. So we got this question in yesterday. Really good question. This is from gentleman Al Head Wood Co. And I think he's close to us in New Jersey. So he asks, pricing projects is something I struggle with, as I'm sure others do. Is there a specific formula you guys like to use when it comes to sending out quotes? I feel I often underbid a project on labor just to get the project to build my portfolio, experience, and land a little money to reinvest in the shop. It's obvious that people have certain, usually unrealistic, prices in mind most of the time. Thoughts? Also, something to keep in mind would be the Hobbyist versus Pro, as I know requirements are different. So thanks for the question.
Who wants to take it first?
Okay. A customer having unrealistic price in their head?
No way.
Yeah. This is a very, very interesting question. And I think it depends on your state of, not your state of mind, but your state of your company and what you're willing to give up as opposed to achieve. Most companies, if you're a company, you basically have a value that you have on what you do, and so you don't want to lower that value. But on the other hand, if you're trying to survive, I can see where people or shops start taking jobs on that they don't want to have just to keep the lights on. So it's a very, very tough thing to do. Because of my wife's fat pension, I can afford to just turn down jobs, and I could be picky. But if I was raising 4 kids and I needed to keep my family fed, I'd start looking at jobs and saying, okay, I can bite the bullet on this one and I'll build it for less. And I have done that in the past. But I can see where that comes into play.
Let me ask you a question, Rich. Now, if shops start engaging in that sort of behavior, doesn't that drive the price down for everybody?
Sure it does. I know a shop, and I'm not going to mention the name, where his attitude is, he was once asked a question at this Woodworking Guild show. He goes, out of 10 jobs that you bid on, how many jobs do you expect to get? And he waved his hand, ooh, 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 ooh.
Like on tippy toes.
All 10 of them. Now, that's really unrealistic, because if you can get 10 jobs out of 10 bids, then your pricing is way, way lower than what you should be selling for. But that's his attitude. And
well, unless the product is total crap.
Yeah, and he gets away with it. But he doesn't push the product as being crap. He pushes that being custom made. There goes that word again. The other C word.
Custom.
Yeah.
But it's very. If I had this as a hobby, I would probably make some kind of changes and say, I'll take this job on just to build my portfolio, like the gentleman from Owlhead Wood Company says, just to get that picture together, and so I can add it to my portfolio and show different clients and all that. But if you keep taking on those jobs, your word of mouth is going to be from that customer you just got ripped off from, and they're going to say, go to this guy, he's cheap, he'll do it for cheap. And when do you ever recover from that?
Sometimes never.
Tough. It's very tough.
Yeah. And then, that's when guys start looking for guys that start out with the best intentions and they can't get paid enough for their product. That's when they start cutting corners because you've locked yourself into this sort of price bracket that says, okay, he does it for this amount. Well, how can I get it done for that amount and still make money? So they say, well, I'll just cut a little bit here, cut a little bit there, and you can really dig yourself into a hole.
Yeah, sure.
I think the biggest thing with this question is hobbyist versus pro. There's a big difference because as a hobbyist, you get into it as a hobby. It's something you do because you like to do it. It's fun. You like to learn about whatever your hobby is. So any chance you can get to build something and break even or even just cover, offset some of the material cost, well, that's a plus because you're getting to do your hobby for less than it would cost you otherwise.
Exactly.
If you want to build, I know this guy, he's built like some Maloof chairs and stuff. We couldn't build a Maloof chair because there's no way we're going to get 20 grand for a chair because it's going to cost us 20 grand to make it. We're not Sam Maloof's company or whoever the other guy is. So yeah, as a hobbyist, you can sort of make these decisions to either make very little or even lose money, and it doesn't hurt you. But, we have to keep the lights on. We have to keep jobs coming in the door, pay ourselves, pay the bills. We don't have a choice but
feed the dogs.
Stick to our guns, yeah.
Well, just one quick question, and this is probably good for Rob to answer. We kind of bypassed this one thing you really wanted to know. Is there a specific formula we use to send out quotes? And I'll let Rob touch on that.
Yeah. Well, definitely, and it's really the simplest formula there is. It's time and materials. Now, this is where estimating comes into being as its own separate skill set. Learning to estimate a job. So, what we do is we draw the job up first. Somebody comes to us, we want a bedroom set. We want a bedroom, 2 night tables, and a 7-drawer chest. This is what I want it to look like. So we bust out SketchUp, or we're working into Fusion 360, and we'll get a 3D model, working model of what this proposal is going to be. Now, from this drawing, we can extrapolate all the materials we're going to need. We've been around enough to know, and we can have a little calculator. It says, all right, we need X board foot of this material, that material. This is the hardware. And we put it straight onto a simple spreadsheet. That adds up our material costs. We put the tax on there, and this is exactly what we show the client. We don't mark it up. It might be rounded up a little bit so that we can just add in the time it takes us to handle and receive all the materials, because that could be a day or two. And
get rid of all the packaging.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, actually. And now comes the trickier part, which is the labor. In the pro shop, we have a salary. So that is what we're going to call our cost. Rich's, mine, and Jeff's salary for the week. That, if we can do it in a week, we know our cost. Now, how much can we make above that basic cost? Because now we got to keep the lights on.
We have liability insurance, have all of your QuickBooks and all the other subscriptions that we need to keep the business running.
Yeah, because that cost is just our take-home pay for our homes.
Right.
Doesn't account for things that we're going to use in the shop or anything like that. God forbid we lose a piece of machinery.
Right.
Because it happens. And then $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 later...
How many Sanders have we lost in the last couple of months?
Yeah, we're down to 4 Festival Sanders.
Yeah.
And we bought a new one.
Yeah.
And I think we had 5 or 6 before that.
Yeah, we had 6.
So we're down 3.
Yeah.
Somebody was blamed for breaking all those.
Well, I mean, in fairness, one was almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
And they get used here a lot. So, sometimes they're running all day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's to just wrap that question up, we got time and materials. So the time is this is where your experience has to play a part. How long should it take us? How long will it really take us? And when you add those numbers up, can we sell the job for that amount of money? Because that's really going to come into being, and it's always a discussion, because the fixed costs are the fixed costs. So we come up with the materials. Here's this kitchen job. All right, it's going to cost us $6,000 to buy all the material for the kitchen. That's pretty typical, $5,000 to $6,000 out of our pocket. Now we know, just looking at the picture, all right, the size of this kitchen, any kitchen is probably going to be 4 to 6 weeks. Where is this job going to fall in that? What are the details? How many drawer boxes compared to doors? How, what are the small little things that are going to add a week or subtract a week? We make our best guess and we come up with the number. All right, wow, that comes out to $55,000. Does that look like a $55,000 job? Can we sell this job for $55,000?
Do they sound like a $55,000 client?
Right. What's our bottom number that we can still feel comfortable and not be, making some Faustian bargain to get this job? Because as Rich alluded to, we said most of our clients are old clients. Like when we do a job, we fully expect we're going to do more jobs for those people. That's because, we're proud of the work we do. And that's a basic truth for us.
Yes.
So if we, just knock a price down on the first job to get our foot in the door, what's going to happen when we try and price that job realistically the next time? Right? I mean,
and there's nowhere to hide it because it's all itemized. We send out an itemized breakdown of cost to every client.
Yeah. We're going to spend this much time milling, this much time fabricating, this many days installing, this much time doing this, that, and the other. So it's not just a number on a piece of paper. And I think that helps explain, we show up to a client's home with a proposal. It's full 3D presentations that you can navigate through the whole thing to scale, full breakdown costs, and labor, materials. We write up exactly what we're going to do. So there's no surprises anywhere.
Yeah, it's a very labor-intensive process to prepare these proposals. So what we've begun doing is actually really vetting all of the clients.
Yeah, tell them about that. That's a great thing.
We have, it's on the website now. Before it was just on our Google Drive. So it's a Google Doc, has some questions about timeline, style, rough measurements, specific functions of the piece, budget, most importantly. So when we get a call from a client, got one today, I said, head over to the website, fill this out, and I'll take a look at it. We'll give you a call. That's how we, get our information, compile it, and start the process. So we look at it. I won't get into specifics, but the budget is so low that we couldn't even buy the material for the job. So rather than take all the time, it's very important to have the budget conversation first, because we could have invested. You're talking a full for something simple like this, probably an entire day for a preliminary design, breakdown of cost, scope of work letter. Then that money's gone. Yeah. We're not doing the job because we can't do it for that price. And it's so low that they're not going to, even if we come back with the real price, it's so astronomically different from what they think it's going to cost that there's no way. It's time wasted.
Yeah.
How many bids have we written before this, before we started doing this, that just went out, and I'm talking weeks of time wasted over the last year.
Right, because, we're always looking to put our best foot forward. So we would never just send out some sort of off-the-cuff number. That's a $12,500 job. We pride ourselves on our design work, especially, and that's what separates us. So we would send out, the whole thing that we spent 2-3 days working on, and then the price would be 5 times what the client's budget was. So Jeff came up with that idea to vet the clients first in a polite way. We're not... not being pretentious or anything like that. We couldn't afford to stay in business, the three of us, if we had to spend all the time that it takes to prepare a full proposal for every inquiry.
Yeah, because we're owner operators. We're the ones doing everything. We're designing it, building it, finishing it, installing it. So anytime that we're spending on the computer doing a proposal, well, we're not in the shop building something. And we'll touch on it later, but it's very important that you have some time outside of work. So we can't, work ourselves to death and
There's one other little thing here. Is that part of his question about people's usually unrealistic idea of what it should cost?
Yeah, I think we've talked about that. Huh? It's just everyone knows that is reality, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And every job we do, we're educating one more person on what it really costs to build something.
Well, my quick question to you, Rob: do you think that the hobbyist is hurting the professional?
There is a hobbyist is typically, they're not concerned with cost at all. You're doing it for the love of it, so you're able to spend, let's say, 500 hours making something, one piece of furniture, where we could never afford to do that. There are certain compromises that we have to make as far as time and materials just to make it feasible. I would say they don't hurt, because that's a one-off. The thing that the hobbyist can't do really is produce work quickly.
Yeah.
So a hobbyist isn't going to make a set of kitchen cabinets. Probably not even a bedroom set, because it would take them a long time. Typically, they're doing something else 9 to 5. So unless somebody is going to wait a year and a half for a bedroom set for less money, I would say no. In fact, it may elevate people's tastes a bit, because hobbyists are making some of the best stuff out there.
Yeah. I give example of that gentleman from Owlhead.
Yeah. It's full-on quality work.
I saw his pictures. They had very, very good quality work.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing.
Yeah. I mean, we had a client reach out looking for a, what was it? A sort of like not a console, a buffet maybe.
Yeah.
And it was a picture from someone else, and I saw the watermark, so I went on the guy's website. This beautiful cherry piece, sort of mid-century style, $750.
Yeah, we had little heart attacks.
I'll take 2.
Yeah. Take 10. Yeah. So, it puts it puts unrealistic expectations in people's minds sometimes when they see a price from someone that, they're not doing this to feed their family. They're doing it, because they enjoy it. And we enjoy it too. But
I also think that the hobbyist doesn't really know how to price out their work too. They really don't. Yeah. They don't know they don't know the fixed costs you have, the hidden costs that you have to take care of. And
well, the value on the time is a big thing. They're going to say, well, I do this because I love it.
I could spend my weekend or at nights doing this while I could be doing something else.
How much do they get paid at their 9 to 5? That's the value of your time. I mean,
or do they have a nice fat pension?
Well, yeah. I mean, some people married into it.
Must be nice.
Thank you, dear.
So, I think a nice, concise answer is, if you're having a struggle pricing your jobs, come up with a spreadsheet. If you want, hit me up. I'll send you ours. It's fun.
Yeah, it's easy.
Find out what you want per hour, plug in the numbers, and it'll spit out a price. Massage it if you have to. We do it all the time. So that'll give you a good starting point, and you work from there, whether you can get a little bit more or you have to get a little bit less because either you're slow or you really just want to get the job. So I would start there with a spreadsheet.
If you want to get started estimating hours for your work, start with something like days or a half a day.
Yeah.
Don't get too caught up in, this is going to take me an hour and 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're a hobbyist, you can underestimate and be okay. We have to.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
We either have to get it done or bite the,
What Junior doesn't eat.
Yeah. Well, we'll go on to one that's a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
This is from our buddy Frank, Carpenter13 on Instagram out in San Diego. He asks,
Frank.
Frank's a good guy. What is your next big tool purchase?
I have a combo in mind. A part floor model drill press with a kegerator on the bottom. No, I think mine would be a drill press. I always wanted to have a nice floor model drill press, not a bench top. It's small enough to fit in the shop. You can put it on wheels and move it around. Right now we have a bench top model, which is in the corner of the shop, and it's somewhat of a pain in the rear end.
It's right next to your bench.
Yeah, your bench is kind of like overgrown out.
Yeah, exactly. When people come over to bother me or use the drill press, they kind of annoy me.
The other thing is,
I like to be alone.
All those chips that come off the, we just leave them right there.
So, but I think it's a good tool to have. You don't use it that much, but you know what? You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You will use it.
It gets used every day, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would get. I'd get a drill press.
I like that answer.
I'd say I don't. Companies out there that want to sponsor us and send us one of your tools so we can test it out, give us a shout.
Yeah, Powermatic, Laguna, whoever.
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think we're making any large tool purchases anytime soon. What was the last thing we got, big tool wise? Probably the saw stop. We have a 3 horsepower. Is it 5?
I think it's 3. It's the
3 horsepower industrial with the saw stop with the sliding crosscut. So that was our last big tool purchase back in.
You can't cut your finger off.
Yeah, maybe March. But if I was able to just pick something, I think what would serve us best is a line boring machine. Doing a kitchen, there's a lot of shelf holes, and we put less holes than most people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a 32 millimeter spacing, but we'll skip every other, so it's more like a 64. So they're whatever. It's probably
we don't run it from top to bottom.
No, 2 1/4 inches, and only about the middle 8 inches get shelf pin holes. We put sleeves in them so they don't get worn out by the pins. It looks nice. But it's a lot of work because we're drilling them all by hand. So a line boring machine, you take out every other bit and use that. So I think that would be a big time saver. Yeah. It's a little large for our shop, but there are some small ones.
Yeah, I could see that actually wedging its way in here one day. Well, I'm going last, and mine's a biggie. My dream is a Bobcat with forks.
Does that count?
Large machine. What's the question? Big tool. Big tool. That's a tool.
You got to pick
what? You are a tool.
I could just see
inside the shop tool.
Oh, I'm gonna park it inside at night. Right now, the shop, it's probably about 300 feet from the street. Right?
Yeah.
At least maybe 250.
Why don't you go pace it off right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a good 250 to the street. And now, the trucks that deliver all the really heavy stuff, sometimes they're over the road semis, even those big stake beds, they can't get back here. So, when we built the confessionals, we got almost 800 board feet of white oak.
No, it was more than that.
Oh, well,
it was 800 a 5/4.
Yeah,
alone.
Yeah. So we have to take it off the truck by hand. We put it into the back of my pickup truck because it had the 8-foot bed, and we take like 2-3 trips back here to our actual wood shed and offload it all by hand. Mm-hmm. Plywood, same thing. We take it out by hand. We got those 20 sheets, and we'll put it out on some sawhorses and then just carry them back here. My dream, of course, is to have something, not quite a forklift because it's a little bit rough, the terrain between here and the street.
It's a one-trick pony, too, the forklift.
Yeah, so we got that Bobcat with the nice big all-terrain wheels, a shovel, and forks out front. Oh, man.
You won't be able to fit through with the plywood going lengthwise. You'd have to go...
No, the gate's 10 feet.
Is it?
Yeah, right through.
What about 6?
You're paying for gas because you'll be here all weekend doing donuts in the backyard.
That's it. That's my tool.
You better get a helmet.
Yeah, no, I made it this far without a helmet. Well, actually, the one that counted, I was wearing a helmet.
Yeah, so that was a good one.
Thank you, Frank. Carpenter 1-3.
One of you guys want to read the next one from our buddy Tom McGuire, another Jersey guy, I think.
I'll read this question because I really don't have an answer for this one. Have any recommendations for LEDs in cabinets that turn on when you open the door? Get a flashlight.
All right, listen, Tom, I got the answer for you. I actually looked it up. It's on Rockler.
Rockler.
Yeah.
That's another gripe.
And you're a Rockler Pro, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah, he's a
Rockler Pro. They have these little clip-on fixtures that clip right onto the hinge. You put a little battery in there so there's no wiring. So you have two. And they're kind of like miniature versions of those spotlights you might wear on your hat or something like that. They're cheap, so they're inexpensive. I don't know. You could probably interchange those words. I think it was like $6 for 4 of them.
If you're a pro, though, you get them for $5.99.
Yeah, exactly. They shave that extra penny off.
So
when
sign
you're
up.
a pro. Yeah, sign up, get those emails. So there you go, Tom McGuire. Look it up, Rockler, and become a pro.
Yeah.
And
You
watch.
get 5% off on your purchase?
No, I don't think you get anything off, but you do
A
get
couple of cents.
You get the pro pricing.
Yeah, you get to call yourself the Rockler
Yep.
Pro.
Well, that's worth something.
Yeah, I mean there are contact switches. Maybe you want to touch on that.
I was going to say, I've, as a trim carpenter, put a lot of them in closet and pantry doors. You know, it's a little plate with a pressure, a little button. When the door's closed and it depresses the button, lights turn off. When you open the door, it turns on. So there's probably something similar for cabinets, I'd have to assume.
Oh, yeah.
For cabinet lighting, we use ATX LED. They're down in Austin, Texas. Really good low voltage, all DC low voltage lighting. So they're even making bath fans now.
Oh yeah, and now you can tell them what you want.
Yeah, they'll do
map
a full,
it out for you.
full lighting plan. We use them for the confessionals, 4-inch cans, dimmers. Really nice stuff.
Yeah.
Nice people, really, really nice people.
It was like a luxury hotel.
Yeah. And they're wafers, they're super thin.
Yeah. So you got a couple of choices there, Tom. They're out there.
Yeah.
Now, let me read the last question, or is it? No, there's
Second
another
to
one.
last.
There's another question.
All right. You mentioned about not working with designers or architects very much. How are you getting most of your work? Word of mouth? Any advertising? Jordan Hawbaker wants to know. Thank you, Jordan. Go ahead, Jeff. You want to take it?
Yeah. Absolutely. We don't really work with designers. We don't really work with architects. We'd love to have the opportunity. Just doesn't seem to ever work out in our favor. We put a lot of bids out, but don't seem to get very many calls back because of pricing, I'm assuming. But the way we get most of our work is definitely word of mouth. Old clients either coming back, that's repeat business, I guess, not word of mouth, but old clients telling friends and family about us. And the other one would be Instagram, honestly.
Yeah, social media
is a huge driver of leads. Not always quality leads, but definitely a lot of leads. So I try and invest a decent amount of time in Instagram and putting up good pictures and interacting with people. And advertising wise, here and there, I'll throw up a sponsored post, not a sponsored, like a boosted post on Instagram, $50 or something, but they haven't really turned any results. So I'd say just put in the sweat equity, try and grow your social media. Seems to be a good driver of business.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing right now that helps you get business is social media.
Yeah.
What about flyers?
Well, I'm working on something right now. You know how the old guys used to stand out in the corners with the little thing they used to
They
wear
call
over
that a sandwich board.
a sandwich board. Well, Rob's going to be out there on Route 36 starting next week.
Honk when you see
Yeah,
me.
honk when you see him. And you'll
Being
get
like
a free...
a foam tree costume.
Tree of life.
No, it's not...
The man dresses a foam tree of life.
You'll have a lot of birds perching on top of you.
It's okay. We love the birds.
It's not that we don't want to work with designers or architects. I don't think designers want to work with us per se, because I think we offer a little bit of a
Challenge?
not a challenge,
I would
but
say challenge.
a competition.
Yeah, we sort of fly in the face of a lot of.
And I'm not talking about all designers. There's some great designers out there.
Absolutely.
We've been working with some great designers. But your typical lady who just decided to become a designer
Yeah,
because she was bored being a housewife, those people
Does that
we have
sound?
trouble
Does
with.
that sound a little condescending?
Sounds a little misogynistic, but that's not what we're getting at.
I don't mean it that way. It could be a guy too.
Hey, yeah, we know.
Yes, we did.
We have a sketch. I don't know if it's still
No,
hanging in the
no,
shop.
I finally got rid of it.
but
Do I got to talk to the lawyers again?
HR.
No, but it's just so we kind of like a competition to them, and they don't like it. So a lot of designers say this is what I want. You build it this way, and that's it. So they will not look at any kind of alternatives, even though the alternatives are probably a little bit better than what they want. But
Yeah.
it's ego.
we
have ego too, but we still bend our rules around.
We've shot some designs full of holes from some designers that have reached out to us, and it's not usually greeted with a positive response.
Yeah. I think what Rich is, he's getting at. I mean, we talk about it a lot because it's a little bit of a sore point that we can't seem to develop relationships with, other peers from, similar trades, and designers and architects would be perfect examples of that. And honestly, it is a bit of, almost a conflict, because we talked about this early on. My background is actually in design, and what we do is we come to these jobs with an original concept in mind, not the concept we used 3 jobs back. Whereas most designers in the suburban market here, they're assembling photos from social media, Pinterest, Instagram, and just sort of combining something that's already there, and then going to, all right, I know these cabinets are 24 inches, 36 inches, and then I'll just line them up. And we don't accept that at all. We actually push ourselves to come up with something distinctive every single job. And so oftentimes what happens is we kind of show up to the client what they're paying somebody good money to do. We haven't worked with a designer yet that doesn't just come through with a pencil on paper, and we're doing 3D proposals.
Yeah, some of them, but 99% of them.
Yeah. And we also know how things work because we're the engineers on the job as well for our end of it. So I think there is a clash of personalities and egos in a sense, and we're very easy to get along with. As brash and outspoken and sort of opinionated as we are, we're very, very humble and easy to work with, and people do love working with us once they've had the opportunity.
Yeah.
We're all about working for the client, and that's the end result.
Yeah, you can call me day or night. I'm going to hand out my phone number in a little while, so if you want to talk to me,
shoot him a text.
Just give me a call.
You angry ladies out there?
What? I'm sure I'm going to hear about
Give it
this.
to him. Yeah, good luck touching any of that pension.
The other part that's interesting with designers is that they're used to working with a person already that builds their so-called custom cabinets, and they know how much they can mark up, and they're not willing to just go with somebody like us because our prices are a little bit higher, and they're not going to get the same cut as they would if they were going with XYZ cabinet shop.
Yeah. And the truth is they could sell what they've already been selling. There's no upside for most of the designers in their mind. They don't see the upside to, expanding potential, expanding quality and things like that. They're comfortable in their routine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen a lot of people in different trades that are, it's the same thing. They work with the same 5 builders, and everybody is just,
they churn it out.
Yep, they're on a hamster wheel. We could very easily be slammed in a big, huge shop, cranking out frameless kitchens if we wanted to do that, but I don't want to do that.
I mean, we've made our choices and we're happy with them, and I think that's actually a pretty good segue to the last question.
Yeah, this is from our real good buddy Manny. How important is mental health at work?
I mean, we talk about it all. It's part of our daily conversation, not in a serious way always, although it's a serious topic that we give plenty of credence to. It's one of the main reasons we're here doing what we do and how we do it and where we do it and why we do it. As the questions sort of allude to, there's a lot that goes into trying to make a small custom shop like this work, function, and allow us to feed ourselves and our family, and maybe, just maybe, have enough to, lease a truck or something.
Yeah, buy a nice new saw.
Right. There, plenty of compromises have to be made on some things, but where we don't compromise is in the quality of our life here in the shop, because this is it. This is what it boils down to. Spending 8, 6, 10, 12 hours, however many hours a day we are here together, 5 to 7 days a week. This has got to be enjoyable. It can't be a grind, because that's not how we want to go through life.
Yeah, it's not to say that we don't have our issues at times. We do have.
Of course.
We still butt heads together a little bit, but it doesn't last.
But that's natural.
It is, exactly.
Yeah.
It should happen.
I was told a long time ago, if you don't like what you do, then quit your job and find something else that you love to do, because your mental health is very important. The stress levels can kill you.
Yeah. You can't, it's a cliche, but you can't buy happiness. So if you're not happy at work and you're going there just to make money, well, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Unless you got a pension.
That's true.
Sometimes people they don't, it's always easy. The grass is always greener on the other side. And when people just see us sort of on a surface level, they can be quite envious. They come in, we have a small shop, but
you guys got it made out here.
Right. There's trees all around. There's windows on all four. The whole walls are windows on all four sides. It's air conditioned in the summer and dry and heated in the winter. We work in shorts and it's clean, and we got mats all over the floors, and
got a bucket full of pretzels, bag of peanuts.
Oh, but you know what? I might have found the perfect pretzel. I'll touch on that later on.
That might be a whole podcast in and of itself. But we sacrifice so much for that. Even our wives, they want to know when the next check's coming, and because we don't make as much as we could if we were out there grinding it out, working for somebody else.
Yeah. Or working in a different way.
Yeah. At what price? We come home, we've worked a longer day, we're grouchy, so we don't have the emotional availability. There's all those.
I'm not even going to touch that.
See, my wife doesn't watch these.
It's not that we're not. It's not that we're not concerned with work. We are. We do worry about.
Of course, we are.
We worry about the next job coming in, but it's not something that we can sit here and cry about. We have to do something about it.
Yeah.
That means either do something that's beneficial to the shop, or maybe it's beneficial to a family member.
We're very proactive. That's for sure.
You just can't let it get you down. And it's easier said than done. I totally understand that. Coming from a gentleman whose wife's got a big fat pension. But no, in all seriousness, you really got to love what you're doing, no matter what. Whether you're shoveling horse manure, or putting mail in a slot, or carrying mail around, or delivering packages. You got to love what you do.
Yeah.
Your life's too short, believe me.
And some days here we're running things through a sander or a planer or hand sanding for hours and hours and hours on end. So it's not like the work is always glorious. Most of the time it's not at all.
Yeah.
But the process in and of itself, and getting to work with each other that's the reward because, we pull for each other, we kid each other mercilessly.
Except we don't go get somebody ice cream when they want it.
Yeah.
There is a line. There is a line. Did you know it's Wednesday 2 for 1?
Yeah, 2 for 1 in Carvel.
Yeah. Is it just this one or all of them?
I think it's a nationwide thing.
I might have to stop on the way home.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing any in tomorrow.
The Carvel ice cream sandwich has a cult-like status here.
Yeah, I haven't had one in so long. And then Rob had one in his house the other
flying saucer
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, this is really good.
Yeah.
And they disappeared since then, just like UFOs.
You guys do a lot of snacking.
We do. We do snack like a lot. Yeah. But we're burning calories here.
That's true. Not as much as we would hope, but yeah, I wanted to say that. I know how hard it can be to work in a job you do like and be in a poor environment. Mm-hmm. And how much that can have a toll on your mental health.
Co-workers.
Yeah, so it's not even necessarily what you're doing. It could be your surrounding and setting, who you're working with, all that.
Yeah, one person, if they're in the position that can influence your state of being at that job, could really, really make you dread spending those 8 hours at that place.
Yeah.
Or being undervalued or mistreated in some way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't go through your whole life working at a place that you just regret. Yeah. You know what? I'm up there in age. I know you can't tell, but I probably had regrets from jobs that I kept at.
Regrets.
I have a few.
I don't know that one.
But you know what I'm saying? You look at yourself. You be 68 years old. And you say, God, why didn't I just do the job? Or take that job I really love to do. Why did I just keep doing the same damn thing that I hate getting up for every morning and going to work?
Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So
don't screw yourself over.
Manny, here's the answer. How important is mental health at work? It's very important.
Top
very
of the
important.
list. Yeah. Top of the list, I say.
It is, yeah. I mean, would you say it's more important than salary?
Well, yeah, as long there's a threshold there. As long as you're got a roof over your head and you're eating and you can take care of yourself, then yeah. Would you work a job you hate just to get a fat pension?
You know what? Unfortunately, some people do. I know people that are in working for these big companies, and they stay just to get a pension. Now they're going to stay there for another 20, 25 years just so they can get that pension. And they hate doing what they do. Yeah,
pensions are hard to come by these days, too.
Yeah. But it's, again, I can't stress the importance of taking care of yourself, because if you pass away, there's nobody else going to take care of the people that you love. So you got to be taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional now.
Verklempt.
You can't take that money to the grave, that's for sure.
No, you can't.
No. I would put it up at the top. Again, you do have to be able to sustain yourself, but I would definitely make sacrifices there. And, I'm 58, and I have to say that's pretty much how I've tried to live there. And I've found myself in some unfortunate situations, not just once, twice, 3 or 4 times. And it does reinforce that idea. Don't make those sacrifices if you can help it.
Yeah.
Stay healthy out there, everybody.
Yeah.
And don't forget sponsors. We're still looking for you.
Yeah. Any of those Pfizer, any of the drug companies?
Yeah.
Yes, because I am looking to change my meds. I don't think they're working that well. Just saying. Well, that ends the podcast today, but we have to end it with our thoughts of the beer of the week. And since Jeff bought the beer, he goes last. Again, I'm an old school guy.
I thought you would like this one.
I come from Jersey City. This beer's not that bad, though.
You like it better than the first one I got?
Yes. It wasn't not hoppy at all.
No.
The coffee, I'm not really a coffee drinker either, so.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that.
But it tastes a little bit like coffee, but it tastes like raspberries too. So it wasn't bad. I would drink it again if you were buying.
That's positive.
All right. I'm going to say the first couple of sips were better than the last couple of sips from me. It's a little bit too taut in a raspberry fruity sense. I do prefer something that's a little bit more bitter. So that's probably why this kind of goes against the grain. It's sweet and fruity, almost like in a wine kind of way. I can taste some of the coffee notes, but the prevailing taste in that is raspberry, and that's why I would say that's a thumbs down for me.
Okay. I think there's squirrels jumping off the roof. I liked it when it was, as it's warmed up. The coffee flavor has come out a lot more for me.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavily carbonated. It's okay. It's kind of a novelty for me. I'd have one. I wouldn't drink more than one, at a time, I don't think. But good, good flavor. I like Berliner Weiss beers, so.
I think it's got to be super cold.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem with beers. You got to invent something to keep it nice.
Guinness,
and cold.
it doesn't have to be cold.
Yeah.
Like that.
Certain beers you can drink room temperature.
I can't do that. Give me a cold Schaefer.
Pretty good. Anyway.
Yeah, but we enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, it was good.
It was. Yeah, we did enjoy it.
Can't wait to see what Roberto picks for next week.
You know me, I don't plan.
Yeah, Peronis.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, the Italiano.
Which tastes just like Grolsch and Labatt Blue.
Okay, listen, we got to go and get back to work. We're going to get some work done.
I got one thing.
One more thing to talk about.
We were supposed to talk about the giveaway. So we're going to be putting together a giveaway. We just celebrated 1 year anniversary on Sunday. So we wanted to put something together. This is sort of aimed at people that are just getting into woodworking or have a little bit of woodworking experience but want to, sort of further the hobby. So we're getting some tools together that we've outgrown or upgraded from, stopped using. We're going to put together a little sort of kit for somebody.
Nice package, really, actually.
Yeah, you got some, so far, Stanley Sweetheart chisels, the 1/4 inch, half inch, 3/4, 1 inch.
We sharpened them up last week, too.
Yeah, an English-made Stanley No. 4. It's not super antique, but it's probably from, I want to say, the 80s. Have some DMT diamond stones, Veritas Mark I honing jig. We've been putting some other stuff together. We got to clean all this stuff up. We're not going to sharpen the chisels and the plane. We're just going to get them flat and the bevel set, and you have the stones. So we're going to leave that up to you because that's a big part of being a woodworker is learning how to sharpen yourself.
They're not.
They're going to be set up, ready to go. They just need to be sharpened. Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll tell you more about that. But I said that we were going to announce it today, so I didn't want to leave everybody hanging.
Is it going to be a Veritas mini square in there?
No.
There might be some Veritas gear.
Yeah, but we have to rummage around, see what else.
Depends.
Does anybody use rifflers?
Let us know.
Yeah, you're a fan of the riffler.
Yeah, we have 2 camps here.
Yes. Well, that's it for today. Good luck with everybody. Send in those questions. Have a great weekend.
Be well out there.
Like us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment.
And sponsors, contact us.
Yeah, we're looking at you.
Contact us. Must be the beer.
I think it's the meds.
Must be the meds.
That's true. See you next week.
Ciao.
I'm sweating over here.
I know, it's hot. Get that air conditioner on.